Now here's something that you can check out over the weekend. Several cultural films from Mexico, Chile, Colombia, and Singapore are still being shown at the Shangri-La Plaza in Mandaluyong City. The films are part of the movie series Pacific Alliance Movie Nights, which will run until Sunday, September 25th. Now I got to speak with the ambassadors of Mexico, Chile, and Colombia, and they told me how this film fest brings together different cultures.
This is our first project, including films. And the idea is, one of the objectives of the Pacific Alliance is to promote cultural exchange with Asian countries, in particular with the Philippines. The main objective of this film festival is that the Filipino people could know through the films the traditions, the cultures, the daily life of our countries, because we are convinced that when the people knows the other countries, that is very productive in terms of relations.
Right, and there's so much actual, so many parallels and so many shared aspects of culture, I think, between Latin culture and Filipino culture. We are indeed sister cultures. Ambassador Rojas, can you tell us a little bit more about maybe an overview of the films that are part of the film fest, with an emphasis on the films that will be shared by the Chileans?
Well, thank you for the opportunity to CNN to have us here. I would like to just overemphasize the fact that this is a sort of an effort to bring about public diplomacy in terms of bringing closer the Filipino and the Pacific Alliance country here in Manila. And what is important too is that through the arts and through films and through the film industry, you can have a sort of an assessment about the countries itself. Always we have to realize that the Pacific Alliance is a grouping of countries that we want to promote full free trade integration and including productivity. And we think that this part of the world offer probably the most significant one nowadays, and it's based on a very long tradition of trade between the Philippines and Mexico during the Spaniard times with the Galleon of Manila. We have several pictures. Of course, I am familiar with the two that Chile is showing this time. One is called Calzones Roto, that is like of a family secrets. So it's a dark, humorous story about family secrets. And the other one is Mis hermanos sueñan despiertos, my brothers dream awake. This is a very, I would say, it's also a proposal to bring about the life of two young brothers that are in conflict and resolutions, and also have to tell about the interaction in terms of their orientation on their life privately, including the intimate life. So it's a very complex story. And I would say, at least in the case of the Chilean film industry, the Chilean films are very complex in the manner. They are very cinema art, what they call, art cinema. So these movies are experimental in itself. Sometimes it could be a bit slow. It's not going to be like a blockbuster or a movie similar to Bollywood, with music and all. These are more
of an art film, perhaps.
More than an art film. So I think that is a nice opportunity for the general public to know about this, and also for us, it's to help us in the sense that we bring about a sort of public diplomacy that's always important.
Sounds good. I for one will admit I don't know as much about Chilean culture as I should. So I'm looking forward to actually viewing some of these films. Ambassador Ordonez, how important is it that the Philippines, as an observer of the Pacific Alliance, will also get to know about the arts and culture of the nations who are part of this, particularly Colombia and associated countries, Peru, and so on. What are some of the films that you know of that will be participating in this film fest?
Thank you. Thank you very much for having us once again. For us, it is capital to be able to show the Filipinos how alike we are. We actually have a movie that will speak directly to all Filipinos, because it's about a boxer from Cartagena, who finds his estranged son, and I won't tell more.
Yes.
Basically,
spoiler.
the story. And
if you want more, you have to come and see the movie, no?
Exactly. And of course, boxing is so popular here. We grew up admiring the Filipino boxers. So this will clearly speak to them. And then there is something that is even more interesting, because both Colombia and the Philippines are part of the 18 mega biodiverse countries of the world. We were listening at the Secretary General of the United Nations, precisely speaking how we need a new agreement to protect our biodiversity. So this is absolutely key. The other movie that we are presenting is called Chiribiquete, which is our largest national park, and it's the largest rainforest park in the world.
Wow.
So what we want to share is the importance of our biodiversity. If you allow me one extra little bit of information about the Pacific Alliance that I think will be interesting to know for your viewers to know, is that together we are the 8th largest economy of the world. We have a market of about 230 million people, and the 4 countries together are 41% of the GDP of Latin America and the Caribbean.
Okay, so, quite a force to be reckoned with.
Exactly. A force for the market, a force for trade, a force for investment, and of course, a force for culture.
A force for culture, a force for good, and a force for friendship, as you said. I think I've learned already so much just from this short chat that we've had. Imagine what you will learn from watching these films. Ambassador Lozano, I'm going to give you a chance to quickly talk about the films that Mexico is inviting us to watch, and also give us an idea of what other cultural aspects are in store for those of us who come and attend.
Okay, thank you. Yes, indeed, we are going to showcase 2 films. One is a romantic historical drama, that is related to the participation of women in politics, and in a very early time. And also we are combining with another film, is a comedia. It's a comedia called Cuando los hijos regresan, when kids come back home. That is a very actual film where, a difference to the past, in many cases the kids stay long time with the fathers, and it's a funny film, and I think that also represents the contemporary life in Mexico.
Once again, the Pacific Asia movie, or Pacific Alliance movie nights, I should say, will last until Sunday. It's been a real pleasure to have all 3 of you ambassadors with us. Muchas gracias for your time, and thank you very much.